Anyway, here we are, people.
Here we are.
Well, almost.
Oh,
Now
we're
we're
patient.
there.
Now we are.
Okay. Good morning, all indeed, Suzanne Hunt, and for everyone else in the world. um, Hello, wherever you are, whatever time it is.
Yes.
Yep, welcome to the 365 Message Centre, the show where we're mostly on air. Then, if one of us is sick, we try to decide at the last minute whether one of us is going to fly solo, and sometimes it's down to the wire, and we say, we'll postpone the messages till next week. And what does Microsoft do? They deliver another 15. Do you think they're going to cover
Yes.
them all, Daniel?
No.
Good answer.
We could try, but no. No.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think this week is a little bit interesting. We have there's several updates that are doubled up. I think at least one, but I think there's a couple that are doubled up. And then we have some sneaky messages that
Yeah.
didn't actually show up the last 2 weeks. They did, but they're dated way back in the past. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, so new. They don't even
Yeah,
have an icon for the message center.
exactly. That's when you know it is really, really new.
Yeah, yeah, new but not.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's get started because there are a few.
Yep.
Oh, where should we put our faces? That'll do, right there.
Oh,
General availability. Well, first of all, we'll comment about the major updates before we tuck them away.
okay.
There are actually a few. I think there's even more than three. So if I go ahead and remove some of these, then they'll get replaced as they do.
Yep.
Yeah, Kaizala is doubling up there with a couple of messages, and these are the ones we're talking about when they are post dated. So a bit sneaky
Right.
because
Yes.
they had a date of hoping to get Kaizala Pro available to Office 365 earlier,
Mhm.
and then
Yep.
they had to push it out a month. But I think they must have had the message there all ready to trigger and go, and then just before they decided to go, they triggered this post-dated message that said, "We delivered this on the 5th of April to you, and on the 24th of May."
Right.
Um, Here
I
we
think
go.
that was it feels like someone pushed the button. The date was there. They paused. They didn't push it out. And then when they eventually did push it out, they forgot to correct the date. That's what
Yeah,
it kind of feels like to me.
yeah,
Maybe that's what happened.
yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
okay, Kaizala Pro. Kaizala is a service that you can sign up for, and it's really is a low barrier to entry that you can use your phone number to start forming groups and to get in contact with people. And
Yeah.
some of us have experimented with it and tried it out. That's what we've done.
Mhm.
And much like WhatsApp, for example, you
Mhm.
can connect to other people across all sorts of different areas
Right.
who have signed up to Kaizala. And I've noticed too, since Kaizala Pro going live, that some of my Microsoft contacts are just starting to get onto Kaizala to take a bit of a look
Mhm.
based on their phone
Right.
numbers.
And
Kaizala Pro,
this
go
was
ahead.
originally designed. Can we? This
Yeah,
was originally designed for markets in the East, right? In Asia, I believe, in Africa, for those that have. Um, I don't think we're a target for things like Teams, right? This was kind of an app developed for quick enablement or enablement of quick conversations with people within an organization, given that not everybody has a computer, but they all have a phone, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The markets where it's you're trying to form a team really quickly,
Right.
and we've observed, or the world has observed, that WhatsApp has been a quick way to do that. It's been used far more than just
Mm-hmm.
a social media tool. And so Kaizala's sitting in there and really in direct competition with WhatsApp. So
Mm-hmm.
they have now released the pro version of Kaizala into Office 365,
Mm-hmm.
so that you have more control over that process in your tenant.
Right.
This means you can enable your frontline staff with or first line staff. I keep getting those mixed up.
Yeah.
To be able to be part of that quick, low barrier, low friction teamwork.
Right.
Now it means too that it sort of spills into this next message that you're able to enable people based on their phone number, because the phone number is all you need to enter, but
Mm-hmm.
a email address can now be used if you miss a notification. More importantly, if someone has invited you and you're wanting to make sure that they've got that notification or message,
Mm-hmm.
then as an admin of Kaizala Pro, you have that control, and you can make sure that people get the email notification to say, hey, someone's trying to reach you, someone's trying to connect with you.
Right. Which is important, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing onboarding, you want people to know, and not just onboarding onto an app, but onboarding into a conversation and all that. You want people to realize that, hey, this is, someone's trying to reach you. So that's, is definitely a good thing. I think for these announcements, it's great. And you've used Kaizala, right? Have you used it in a work setting at all?
Not really. I mean, certainly we tried it with regarding 365.
Yeah.
I'm going to sneeze.
Oh.
Just announcing that, and that wasn't in the message center, by the way. That would have been a major update if I just sneezed and not told you, and you would have been mightily disappointed.
Yeah.
Now, Kaizala, we've tried it as a team, and this is the thing: you've got a few options now for low friction, quick bits of teamwork. Do you use a chat within Teams? Can you use Yammer, which is also low friction? We've got Kaizala there now. I see that it's going to be useful definitely for that for sort of first line staff, where it could be like a staff hub. It could have you're starting to see the overlaps. Whether it comes into scheduling and shifts, it's
right.
Yeah,
That, I mean, yes, that, and there's, when you communication, when you're talking about rapid communicate, well, can I not use Teams and one-on-one chat there? Email. I mean, there's a lot of this, communication, and where should it happen? And we've definitely had these conversations before, and we're going to have them, I think, moving forward. It's going to be more muddy, I think, with Kaizala, because I don't think. I mean, initially, yes, it was for those developing markets, and so now it's bringing in for everyone. So how do we position this in an organization where drive-bys are one of the worst things ever, right? And drive-by, what I mean by that is, you're sitting at your desk and you're working, and someone comes up to you and starts talking to you and interrupts what you were doing. So you have to change your train of thought and get back to it once you're done. And, there's a switching cost there. Well, we have electronic drive-bys, right, which are messages in Teams. We have emails. We have Kaizala now. We have text. All of this, phone calls, if you want to go old school. So all of this. So how does this help an organization? How is this? And so is it that, and the show is not about reading you announcements. That's not what we do. We're not here to read you the text that's on your screen that you can read yourself. The point of this show is for us to tell you the meaningfulness of these announcements, and meaning, should you care about it, and what should you do with this information? And so my suggestion to you, as those that are watching this, is you don't have to use Kaizala. You don't have to use any of the other tools in Office 365 if your organization isn't ready for it or isn't positioned for it. And I think that the latter there is the point here with Kazala is this something that would work within your organization? Are you positioned to use it, or is it something that more so you're positioned to use other tools? Just, that's where I think you need to do an honest assessment of this tool and of your environment. Should you even use this tool? And I say all of that to say my organization probably won't use this tool. This is not what we probably would be doing. But I know there will be some, right?
Yeah, I think you had on it at the beginning that it's about enabling people that don't have a computer, and the workforce that is going to be out there at the front line, retail, it could be into factory, it could be into service, that level where, like Phil said here in the chat, you don't need to have a license, so you can very quickly build a team and keep people informed and in the loop about decisions and what's actually happening. Almost said WhatsApp again. Anyway, we'll move on.
Well, and I think there's an external user component here. There's and this is cross team boundaries, so, and I don't mean teams, I mean team, like, you can bring in anyone. I get it, but I just feel like this is one of those things that yet another tool that I want to make sure people understand that you don't have to use this. And I'm not picking on Kazala. I'm not. I'm just saying, just do an honest evaluation. Just because it shows up in your list of things you can deploy for your users doesn't mean you have to. Doesn't mean you need to enable it. Have an honest conversation with those that in your organization, not just you. It's others, I'm sure, but have an honest conversation about, should we even use this before you proceed. That's all.
All right. And
that's all.
With that, we'll proceed. We are going to skip over some because there's a lot to cover there, and some more that are interesting more than others, or more impactful as well. Like this one, which is not too impactful, but for some reason it's a major update. What if this is general availability started of something that's really confusing? So the message is. Remember, we used to have a public website with Office 365. It was like a hangover of something to do with SharePoint that it was exposed publicly. And then it was removed, and there was this link that was added to say, here's some considerations about other services you might use. This announcement is saying, well, we're taking that link away now. It's over to you to find that out for yourself. So it's a major update. The general availability of its non-availability has started.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all we need to say, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, this is not the only confusing text message we have this week, these last 2 weeks. So, this one is just they're removing the link. So we haven't had we haven't had a public website in a while. There's some people who are using it. I was using it for some clients who just wanted something simple, and then they took it away, and we were sad. And now we've forgotten it, yet now they're reminding us that we used to have it. They're removing the link that sent you to third party. Okay, great, fine.
Yep.
That's it.
Right. Teams information barrier. And this is something we'd talked about. This is just a further warning to say when it's getting close to the time when it's going to be available. This will be useful for like we said those weeks ago. It's going to be useful for those organizations where you do need to keep people separate, but they are within the same tenant. Could be in finance, it could be other areas where it's sensitive that you want to make sure there's no, like we use that example of insider trading.
Yep.
So you're able to it's not there unless you turn it on, unless you configure it to say we want these people to be separate from these people so that they can't communicate over Teams. You can communicate over other things, but
right. And it's interesting. There's this information barrier shows up as a toggle in my licensing, which is it just feels like it's an interesting. I didn't expect it to be that way. I didn't expect it to show up there. This is obviously configurable by PowerShell, and that's how you're going to have to take care of this. But anyway, just to let you know that you can, I guess, turn it off with that toggle for users without PowerShell. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. So, yep.
Updated push notifications to the Microsoft 365 admin
and
app.
I just wanted to just
go.
plug that, just to say that's great. It was there, it wasn't working, now it's working. Fantastic.
But is it working? Can I ask you?
Well,
have you got push notifications?
I did. Yes, I actually did get notifications this weekend. I was getting pinged about services having issues. Now,
right.
Did I get a notification about this latest one that just went in today? I did not. So we have an update that just went in today for actually two. For forms, switching ownership we'll cover here in a second, but I did not get an update about that.
Okay.
So is it working?
You're getting push notifications for the service outages or service update, but not the updates in terms of the message center. And it's not all. It's not all updates. It's not the stay informed ones. It's the plan for change and something else. Basically, the ones that are landing right now, and you got to do something about it.
Right. I'm looking because I turned it on. So I don't know if anybody can see it, but I turned on Service Health. Yes, those are the ones I'm getting. But then there's the one that says Message Center, and it says Prevent or Fix or Plan for Change.
Show us again, Daniel.
What happened? Am I not?
Sorry, the exposure is like it's the polar bear in the snow with a nice Microsoft admin header of notifications. No. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Prevent or Fix, Plan for Change.
Yep. So I've got them. I've got them turned on, but it's obviously not working for those updates.
Okay. So keep at it, Microsoft. Almost there.
Yep.
Maybe. SharePoint and Teams folder site visibility connected to channels.
Yes.
Some people got excited about this.
Well, because the reason why, and I want to go back just now. The toggle switches were for Plan for Change and for the other one. What was the other one? It wasn't for Stay Informed, and the ones we got recently are Stay Informed. I just want to say that it's possible that that's the reason why I didn't get those alerts in the app.
Correct.
Just going to say that.
Yep.
The exciting part about this, the folder in SharePoint saying, hey, this is connected to Teams, is that initially people got messed up when they go and try to delete that folder in SharePoint because they don't know what that folder is and don't know that this is a group connected site and that folder is related to Teams, right? And that folder is related to a channel. I shouldn't delete that. Well, now we're going to have a visual indication, nice there, they'll tell us, hey, don't do that. So I think that's nice. Now, I thought it was going to be a little different. I thought there was going to be an icon on the folder, but it's not. It's up on the top part. At least that's what the information shows.
Okay.
And the additional information.
So you're at that top level of your document library,
yeah.
Which is part of a team site that's connected to a team. And you can come down to that layer and you can see the general folder because that will always be there. And someone's been goofing around and named a channel a funny name, and then they've needed to change it, so they change it, but the folder is still named in a goofy way, and they go to rename it or delete it or something, and they're not sort of understanding that it's connected to the channel.
Right.
All right.
But anyway, it's good. I think when it's nice just to have that connection to visually, because SharePoint's more than just a document. Newsflash: SharePoint is more than just a document repository for Teams. So it is nice that if I land on someplace and I don't know it's connected, for it to just tell me that. So
good. All right.
Yep.
Yes, definitely more than a document library. Use the team site behind it. All right.
Right.
There's more to it than that.
There is.
Yeah, your generally available Forms Pro. Another Pro coming in there. Well, Kaizala Pro, we've got Forms Pro.
Yep.
Forms Pro allowing you to do... Shut up, alarm. I'm already awake. Wow.
We woke him up already.
Sorry about that. It wasn't even Siri, it was timed.
Nice.
Yep. The difference being that you have a lot more control over putting those forms out there to customers. You've got a few more features that are available. You can attach it to Power BI and see stuff in real time coming in with responses. That nice. If you've been experimenting with it and you like it, you've got another 30 days to keep using that for free. At which point you begin to pay. And my understanding is that it is, as you send a form out, as it's consumed or used, then that's how you pay for it. It's not simply I create one form and I send it out to 100 people is the same cost as sending it out to 100,000 people. It's consumed by the number of people that actually use it, and that's how you pay for it. You can also create lists and... Oh no, this is Steve making a comment about Teams.
Do we have an idea as to what the cost model is? Like how much is it going to cost for me to create that and send it out? I haven't seen those numbers.
Yeah, well, you would expect to find that under additional information. So let's see what we have.
I didn't see it when I looked, but
get started. Sounds like a get started topic.
I agree.
There should be something in here to say, here's what you need to do. Sign up. Provide feedback.
Provide feedback. That's not what we want to do.
No. Well, provide feedback. How much does this cost? You're not telling me how much it costs.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen this, and I didn't see it in the thing before. So anyway, I don't want to belabor on this, but I just don't know how much it's going to cost. And I think that's kind of important, slightly.
Yeah, it is.
Slightly important.
Well, people are evaluating whether they want to continue with it. I'm sure that it's there somewhere, but yeah.
Yep.
It's not on this page. But yeah, we don't want to get hung up too much about that. Maybe we'll just have to find out and get the word out there, or someone in the chat. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay.
we have
next
enhancements to preservation hold library, which is really about helping you not hurt yourself, is how I understood it. Someone like if you take
weird.
that preservation hold off, and boof, that's it. Yeah, that's right. Your site is gone if it is past that policy date in like 7 years, for example. This is just giving you a couple of levels of deletion so that you can save yourself if it does go poof, and you just realize actually I do need to grab some information. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You got to work on your sound effects. Yeah, pop.
Plowy.
Yeah.
Boom.
We'll have.
This is interesting because there was Anna Chu was on Twitter and had mentioned something about doing something, that making a mistake basically in technology and asking what others, and some people had chimed in with I did this once, and it reminds me of something, some said is there to save you from this, from clicking that and going, oh no, that's not the one I was supposed to click, or even if it was the one you're supposed to click and someone comes back and goes, remember when I told you to do that? Don't do that. It's like, well, I've already done it. Oops. So
yeah, definitely. So a 30-day grace period, a second stage recycle bin. You've got a few levels there to save your butt if you have done so. We've got what is it? Groups and org policies now. Oh yeah. So if you join an Office 365 group, remember the one that's powered by Outlook? I think that's still pretty good
Yes.
actually,
Yep.
especially for those who need to stay in Outlook and that. When you have a guest join that group, then they're going to see the policy as well. You know, you want to get out a usage policy and general guidelines about what this
Mm.
group's about. It's good to be able to include the guests as well into that.
Yep. Agreed.
Um, Site usage page. This is one that doubles up, so we can mention
Yeah,
it
it does.
now and then skip over it later.
Yeah,
Um,
this one's cool. It giving you a little bit better idea as to what's going on with your site, your traffic, giving you some insights onto that. So I think any more more information we can get about usage of our SharePoint sites is fantastic. So this announcement is, and I hope it gets even better. As it rolls out and as they keep improvement on it. But it does seem like this is an area that doesn't get much love in SharePoint. So I'm loving, I'm liking the improvements that we are getting.
like built-in analytics
Yep.
to give you more understanding about how people are interacting with your content and your site. Like what does it mean? Improved user experience for unique visitors and site visits. So user experience mean the admin or the person who's checking out the stats, the usage stats. Are they going to see a bit more granularity around who are the unique visitors, and what platforms are being used to access
Right.
this? It gives you sort of an indication of whether people are watching from looking at it from desktop, from mobile. That's about it really. Tablets. That does
Yep.
name the device as well.
hmm
Um,
I don't have it yet. I was looking and I don't have it in my tenant yet, which is
yeah.
unfortunate. But
This one about PowerPoint Designer. I've often thought about this. I think
Yes.
I think this is actually really good because
I do.
there's some of us that how we like this is going for years where people would always use those base templates and you can recognize it and go, you're using
Yeah.
PowerPoint 2010. I know that because that was one of the templates that was released then. And it
Right.
becomes the hot favorite that everyone adjusts and makes and looks different. And the
Right.
same dynamic is happening with PowerPoint Designer, where you're starting to see those same artsy little bubbles or the same slices that are coming in, and you're like,
Yes.
yeah, okay, I get it. AI is helping you design something to make it look different, but it's still been framed the same way. I can tell it's PowerPoint Designer, and it takes you away from your branding and your nice look and feel. Well, ta-da! You've got something that's going to support your branding.
I think yes, all of that, what you just said is right. I think from a creation of content perspective, you need to spend more time on the meat of your presentation instead of having to make it look pretty and interesting, right? And that's what Designer does a great job of, right? It gives you all these ideas, and they're even getting, it's getting a whole lot better and giving even more options of creating designs for your pages, but for your slides. But because people don't want to spend time on that, you can get really creative and make it look beautiful, but that's not the point. The point is the meat. Well, I like it. I love the Designer. The problem has been, just like you mentioned, that you had to use the out-of-the-box templates or it wouldn't work. You would just get, sorry, can't use it. So this is a way for you to use your own branded templates and the designs that you have created and then use Designer along with it. I love this. However, did you take a look at the requirements of how in the world to get this to work? So you're showing it now. So you're like, oh, there's only 3 bullets. Shoo, done. This is going to be great. And then you start scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And you've got to create, you're going to be spending a lot of time in creating this template. Now, some of this may have already been done, for your organization, and you may have already followed these rules by accident or on purpose. But there's a lot to be done to make your slides be your template to be compatible with Designer. I read through this and I'm like, wow. I think this is going to be great for organizations that have time, and they've had a lot of people to work in this and get this done, but it's not going to be an easy thing, is all I'm saying. So
special task for a special person.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's worth it because I really
agree.
appreciate an organization that makes a really good master template that is easy to use and isn't taking shortcuts where, sometimes you remove something and it breaks everything.
The real question for me and for you too, those of us that have to use slide templates that are given to us by, let's say, events that we speak at, it'll be interesting to see if we get ones that are compatible.
Yeah, we'll see. Because the other consideration is accessibility for those of us that have got colour blindness or sensitive to certain colours, that
Right.
contrast levels, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yes. There's our site usage page, so we'll keep on past that.
Keep going.
We've got, just a quick mention here that Outlook Mobile is going to support S-MIME, so that means you'll be able to sign your messages and prove that it truly is you when you send them from your mobile, which is good if you're going to that level of security.
Agreed.
To verify that. Native Teams external access 1-to-1.
This is having those private chats with people who are outside of your organization. And someone was just asking me about this before this announcement came up. So it was very interesting for it to show up right. I mean, the day after they were asking me if this was going to be something that would happen. So it's, again, this is one of those that is a little bit complicated to the way it's supported and to get enabled. Basically having to get, if you read the more information, it talks about having external people as part of your, basically having to be part of your, be a guest, right, into your tenant. But then you can enable it with external people, but there's some interesting requirements that have to happen there for you to become federated and use the communication in Teams.
Yeah, the federation side of it. Those who've got a good Skype for Business partner who's obviously now shifting into Teams, they'll definitely have this covered for you. And if you've got your head around it as an org internally, then that federation is really about naming those organisations where you're going to allow, they're on a whitelist, and you're saying, yes, I want to be able to have communication between them, to that level, rather than saying, I'm going to connect with you, Daniel, and now you're on my allow list. It's organisation level. So that's good. And being able to have a bit more than just your Skype to Teams chat, where it is just chat, then you're getting some more of those native features out of Teams within the one-to-one chat between these organisations. Going to see more of it, of course, as we shift away from Skype for Business and into Teams. We're almost there, I think.
Almost.
Teams real-time presence, kind of in the same boat there, that the presence will actually reflect your presence.
Well, and it's good. more real time than it was before, because there was definitely a delay.
What? More real time? Even more real time? Just about instant, but not quite, and almost real, but not really real.
We did not say instant. There is no instant in this announcement whatsoever. I guess there's not. Let me read it again over. But I don't think there is instant. This is not what that means.
No.
So,
yeah. Yep. Always appreciated that our presence reflects our presence. But
they
it was
say right
those...
away. Right away is
right away.
Which, yeah, again.
Now, that's all I have in my message center. You said that you had something else come in just in the last hour or so, huh?
I did. So there were two updates that came in, one of which I have read. The MC182853 is Forms now supports ownership transfer of employees who have left an organization.
Good. Good.
So this is one of those that I looked at and I read it and I can tell, and I'm not saying this is bad in that, you know, I could just tell the person who wrote it is not an English first speaker.
Okay.
And I'm okay, I get it, but we're writing in English here, so it doesn't. Some of the sentences don't make sense on this, and when you go to the additional information, it's just so. Anyway, just wanted to
I'm
say
going to
that.
say
But
something dodgy here.
no,
Ready
no, no,
for
no,
it?
no, no.
Yeah, ready for it.
No,
It might not be that it's a non-English speaking person. It could be that the task was handed down to a developer who had their head in something completely
oh no,
different, and they're just
oh
getting
no.
like pieces of words out in between there. Never mind. Thank you,
Anyway, so
developers. We love you.
yeah.
Thank you for all the efforts you make.
Thank you and good
Sometimes you
night.
just can't
Yes.
find the words. Yeah.
This so it says, how does
It's
this
been
affect
lovely
me?
working with you, Daniel. See you later.
Yeah,
I'm
bye.
firing myself now.
Says global administrator now have a way to prevent data loss of forms data, comma, for employees who might have left the company or employee
Yep.
whose licenses are disabled, comma, the change provides a way to transfer the ownership of their forms data.
Yep.
Anyway, find the form and then use that URL to change ownership. It's kind of go to the user. Basically it's a URL that is forms.office.com/pages/delegated page.aspx ? Original owner equals their email address. So it's just interesting. But
Yeah.
there is a document on support.office entitled Transfer Ownership of a Form. And that's how you find out.
All right. So for now, you have to jump through a few loops. Hopefully, that process will get easier. And look,
Yes.
we've seen this happen with a few different services like this. I mean, Sway, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and giving ownership to your content if you're moving on, so that people can use it. Forms is definitely in that boat.
Yeah, and I think more so, and I know we're wrapping up, but I think more so this is someone's left because more so if someone's leaving an organization, we're not talking about, oh, didn't you create a form a month ago that you sent out to blah blah blah. We're not doing that. We're talking about, okay, at least here in the U.S. 2 weeks notice is the general. Other times it's a month, but it's about brain dump. What is all the information you do and all the tasks? We got to find someone else to do it. And hopefully we get someone in who we're trying to replace you, that you'll spend a couple days of overlap trying to, help them get started. But I mean, it's all about that. It's not about a form I created once. So to me, this whole thing is about, you've already disabled the account. How do I get those forms into someone else's control so that they actually work?
Yep.
So anyway.
Good. I just thought of another one in that category. Flow.
Yep.
And they
exactly
had to change
same.
the model up there and allow flows to be shared in team flows.
Yep.
Well,
Agreed.
that's us. Thanks for the ride. About 9 minutes over, but episodes kind of get like that when someone is not well enough the week earlier. That's me. And then Microsoft dumps 15 updates on you, even if some of them are repeated.
I think we did a pretty good job. Thank you, everyone,
did.
for sticking around, and those in the chat room. There's several of you. Thank you for sticking around and having a good time chatting, and we really appreciate it.
Yep. Hopefully you feel informed. And if you do see other stuff that's obviously not covered in the message center, feel free to drop it in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter. We are trying to use a new hashtag for the message center, just so we can make it stand out a bit. Is hashtag 365MCS for message center show. And yeah, good to see you. We'll tune out now. See you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye bye.